Good, perfect. All right, we're back. So you forgot, eh? You forgot about homework. Híjole, I knew it. So I was on time. I was 8 o'clock in the morning. I said, hey, are you ready or what? Y nadie contestaba. Yo, ya sabía. Sheesh. Oh my Lord in heaven.
O sea, sí estábamos conscientes, teacher, pero es que los tiempos de nuestros compañeros eran diferentes, entonces no pudimos compaginar en otro día u horario.
Choros, verla, choros, híjole. The day has 24 hours. So, hazle como yo, 3 de la mañana, 2 de la mañana. So, who are your partners, Perlita?
Annie.
¿Quién?
Annie.
Annie, okay, she's coming, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's give it a minute so everybody gets online. So, Gabi, did your, who is it, your daughter or your granddaughter?
Who's the chair?
La que tenía unos perritos en adopción que me contactó.
My daughter. Yes,
And,
of course.
She plays all the perritos?
Yes, of course. She loves the dogs, and one person who tired in front of our house, 5 dogs. Little dogs, and my daughter come to our house.
Ah, very nice. Very nice. That's good.
He loves dogs.
Beautiful dogs? What do you
Beautiful
say?
Dogs. And
yeah, they were.
This?
Huh?
They are corrientes.
They are mixed.
Mixed.
No, pero no, fíjate que los vi y tenían así como papás o abuelos, huskies.
Exactly.
Sí, sí. And,
pero tiene un corazón muy noble, maestro, en ese sentido. O sea, ella quisiera tener aquí, no sé, a todos los perros que andan en la calle.
Ya sé. Mi hija es igual, mis 2 hijas. Y lo malo que yo también soy así que tenemos 5 perros. No, let's see, 5 dogs, 6 cats.
Wow. You have a lot of money.
No, que I buy the special, ¿cómo se llama? Los de 25 kilos. And that's it.
Wow. You need veterinary.
¿Mande?
You need to see veterinary for some sick. I don't know. For me, it's a lot of money to take care of them.
Yeah, you need to invest. The advantage is that I don't let my dogs out, so they don't get sick. But for example, my mamba, la negra, she got COVID. When I got COVID, and I thought she was going to die, but no, resistió. And so yes, but we don't let them out, so they don't get sick a lot, often.
Okay, that's good.
And we have small dogs. See, small dogs. Very good, Paola. Hello. Finally, in my class, we have a rule. You need to turn your camera on and buy the tacos for everybody today because it's the first class. Nah, just kidding. But if you can turn your camera on, so we can see you. Okay. All righty. So Perlita, you're with Annie, right? And Gabby, you're with Kislev?
I didn't work with his leg because I don't phone her and she didn't phone me.
Ay, Kislev, por alguna razón no está aquí, ¿verdad? Ahorita le mando un mensajito. Hace más de una vez. Vamos a hacer burling. Kislev. Ahí. Kislev. We are waiting for you. Okay. So, Perlita, hey, ya. Ustedes dos. Perlita and Annie. So remember, the homework was last week. We talked about how to present grammar. Remember that in lesson planning, there are 4 stages, right? And whatever the presentation is in the main presentation, you need to have the grammar presentation, right? So that's the part that you need to present. How to conduct a grammar presentation. Right? Okay, so everybody can share a screen, and I'm timing, and off you go, Perlita and Annie.
I'm sorry, I can listen. We start?
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm going to.
Oh my Lord, Perlita. Who is Danny?
I'm going to share it.
Okay. In our case, we have to present the first conditional, and for start the class, we're going to start with questions. Our question is, what will happen in 10 years if she continues smoke? The students look at the picture and give us your opinion, right? Okay, now the next part is explication about the first conditional. The first conditional we can use to express a real or very probable situation in the future. It refers to things that would possibly happen in the future if a condition is met. We have here a structure. What does mean? First conditional, a little of the vocabulary, and after this part we have to present in 5 minutes. So after that, we're going to start with the structure. In this case, positive sentences. In positive sentences, use the first conditional of the next way. If plus simple present, we can use subject plus infinitive verb form plus complement plus comma. Here is important, use the comma plus simple future. Use subject plus will or would plus verb in infinitive form. And we have here some examples. If it rains, comma, I will stay at home. The next one, if I wake up late, comma, I will miss the bus. Us could change the order, but in this case, we don't use comma. I will stay at home if it rains. I will miss the bus if I wake up late. Now the next part is negative sentences. In negative sentences, use the next structure. If plus simple present using subject plus don't or doesn't, plus verb in infinitive form, plus complement, plus comma, plus simple future using subject, plus won't or wouldn't, plus verb in infinitive form. And we have here some examples. If I don't feel well tomorrow, comma, I won't go to work. If it doesn't rain, comma, the football game won't be canceled. In this case, also could change the order, but in this case, we don't use comma, okay? Are the same examples would change the order. Now, the next part is questions. Use WH questions plus will or would plus verb in infinitive form plus if plus simple present plus a question mark. And we have two examples. What will you do if you go to be late? And what will you do if you get lost? In this part, we have 30 minutes for presentate this the parts for the students. Now is
Okay.
Annie's turn.
Yes. Okay, well, now we choose the exercise. We choose a mechanical dream. They need to choose the correct option in each case. They need to know if it's a positive sentence, negative, or question, and choose the correct form of the verb and the auxiliary, will. And we have, well, here for this exercise, the student have 10 minutes to answer it. And then we have the semi-mechanical drill. They need to complete the sentence using the first conditional or the sentence with will. And for this activity, the students will have 15 minutes to answer it. And the other exercise is critical thinking. They need to look at the pictures and use their imaginations to write the possible consequence of these actions using the words below to create the sentences. And for what we have, the students will have 20 minutes to do this exercise. And for the last one, the consolidations, they are going to discuss in pairs these questions. So one of them is going to ask the question and the other is going to answer, but trying to use the first condition. And that's all.
Okay. First of all, I applaud your effort. And secondly, así como que no, good job. Secondly, now teachers comments. No? Okay. I give let me see if I can, let me try this, okay? Let me share screen. Yes. Yes. Let me share my screen. All right. You can see my screen, right? Okay, this is my doodle for your see, excuse my handwriting. I'm very bad at handwriting. And then writing on the tablet is even worse. So your topic was first conditional, right? So here, let me see. Yes, no, that. Here, I wrote, if she, that was your introduction, right, Perlita? You had a picture with a lady or a girl smoking. You had a mistake there. You have one grammar mistake. If you can correct it, if she continue, is correct? Or maybe I read bad. I didn't read correctly.
No,
But it
yes,
should-
we have a mistake.
Should be if she continues
Yes.
smoking. Watch out with that because you will have, you know, a brainiac, a heckler in your class. Will say, Miss, se equivocó, así no era. Miss no sabe y. And then your class is ruined. Okay, so be careful with grammar. I mean, everybody is you know, everybody makes mistakes, even though we are almost perfect and extremely sexy, but we make mistakes, but try to avoid as many mistakes as we can. Now, very important, you presented present continuous, affirmative and negative. I will highly recommend, it depends on the program, no? Depends on the book, but I will highly recommend that you do one in one class, in 1 hour, in one lesson plan. Otherwise, it's too much, right? Students will not actually pay attention to it. Now, your TTT, what was TTT, Perla?
Is teachers
Oh
talking
my Lord in
time?
heaven, Jesus Christ. ¿Se te olvidó? Was it?
Teachers, no,
Yes.
talking time.
Very good. Teachers talking time. Students don't need the choro, Perla. Okay, so you, in my viewpoint, you talk too much. So you have the presentation of the lady or the woman smoking, and then you move fast to the explanation. By the way, it's explanation, no explication. No explication de la clasation and the, no, that's not correct. It's explanation. And then you move into the explanation. That's not, I mean, it wasn't very clear, this part, the concept. So you went fast into explanation, then you give a long explanation, and believe me, the students, you lose the student because it was a copy paste from a website. Yes or no? Okay, that's not incorrect. What is incorrect is that the level of your explanation was higher to your students. Okay, so when you do that, you will lose the students. They're not going to learn anything. And then this part, the concept, it's missing. And when we don't have the concept, then students will forget the class. I'll ask you something, Perlita. What is the concept then? What was your concept?
Consequence in the future.
Very good. That's your concept. But I believe and I bet the students, after your long explanation and not after your discurso así total acá de político, your students will be lost. Okay, so you need to have watch this time and your TTT. All right, so make it easier, make it clearer, maybe more, listen to this, Perla, more examples, less words and explanation. More examples for the concept, less words and explanation. I give you an example. Let me see if I can. Es que todavía no le agarro a esto. A ver. No volvimos. For example, what if I wrote 2 circles? Okay, with imagination, these are circles. Okay, this, and I write here if. Y le ponemos aquí un underline. ¿Sí? And then le ponemos aquí action. Y se va a... ¿Qué, Perlita?
Consecuencias.
Consequence, o yo hubiera puesto reaction, así más mexicanized. Action, reaction. And then I will ask, a ver, Annie, tell me the things that you love doing outside that you hate doing inside your house. I will start. Do the dishes. What is the thing that you hate the most in your house? Annie?
Wash the clothes.
Okay, do laundry. Very good. Ay, do laundry. Very good. What about you, Paola? What is the thing that you hate the most?
I think wash dishes.
Do the dishes. Very good. Yeah, we'll do the laundry. What about sweeping? You like sweeping, Paola?
I don't like it, but I have to do it.
Okay, very good. Sweeping. Sweep. Very good. En pum, pum, ponemos varios, ¿no? Y luego yo le pregunto a Paola, tell me, Paola, the things that you love doing outside your house. I start. Go to Starbucks. What about you, Paola?
Not to restaurants.
Restaurants. What about you, Perlita?
Go to the park.
Very good. Go to the park. Park. Ya le ponemos varios, pum, pum, pum. Pero ¿qué creen? Perlita lives with her family, yes or no? So Perlita asked her mother, Mommy, can I go to the park? Y la mamá dice, if you do the dishes, you will go to the park. Action, reaction. If you do laundry, you will go to the restaurant. If you sweep the house, you will go to Starbucks, and so forth. In that moment, well, it took us like what, 4 minutes, 5 minutes? In that moment, your students know the concept. So in that moment, you can start with the explication. Dice Perlita, pero es explanation. You would start with the explanation. You will start explaining the rules, the if, but the students is going to be easier because, o sea que, pues sí, if I do this, I will get this. If I don't do this, I won't get this. Okay? So then it's going to be easier for the students, Perlita and Ami. Remember the premises when we started the course. Make it easier for your students. Never assume your students know. Because your students, ¿qué, Annie?
Are students.
The students are students. They're not teachers. They're not natives. They're not gringos. They're students. Okay? Never assume the students know. Make it easier for them. ¿Sí, Perlita? Okay, good. Now, se me hace que se borró el otro. Ahorita se lo platico. ¿Cómo me salgo de aquí? Compartir no, en pantalla. Compartir desactivado, no. Desactivado, voy a compartir. Okay. So, Annie. Hello, Jessica. My observation is that you have critical thinking. For my viewpoint, that was more semi-mechanical. Can you share again? That is nice, please. That is right. Okay, very good. So look at the instructions. Look at the pictures. Use your imagination and write the possible consequences you should do. Okay. And then abajo dice, took too many things, very bad traffic jams, very windy, the car broke down. You're giving them half of the answer. Number one, that's semi-mechanical. Number two, you say use your imagination. That's still semi-mechanical. Remember, what is the key of critical thinking, Gabby? That students use it in what?
They need to use their think.
Yes, but in what? In what? In real or non-real?
In real situation.
Very good. In a real situation, and that is very easy. Use their lives, their friends. I will have something like, for example, okay, Annie, Paola, tell me the name of your best friend. Your BFF forever?
Angie.
Angie, okay, Angie. So then, are you thinking in Angie, Paola?
Yeah.
Okay, Angie. Angie is, how old is she?
She's 50 years old.
50 years old. Okay, so Angie, she's fun. And she's 50 years old, but she likes to party a lot. So tell me, what could happen, what will happen if she parties too much, and why?
If she goes to party too much, she will have problems in health because probably she drinks a lot.
Very good. Did you see Annie? Did you see Paola's answer? She's thinking about Angie. She's thinking about real person. That's critical thinking. This is pretty much semi-mechanical, Annie. Okay?
Yes.
Did you see the difference?
Yes, yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Excellent. Thank you, Steve. Those are my comments. Very important concept. No concept, students will not learn it. Don't be the Kool-Aid teacher. A ver, este es first conditional with the if, 10 sentences, copy in the notebooks. Don't do that. De verdad, that's very old school. Even those teachers still doing it. But don't be like that. Students need to learn. Need to learn from from you. Okay, Annie? Okay, Perlita? Okay, so I need you to make it right. You're going to you modified all your presentation, and then you're going to do it next week, but not on Saturday, or maybe in Saturday, I don't know. Yes, but in a real class. I will ask for students, and then you log in one of my classes, and then you do the presentation. Okay, Annie? Perla? Okay, cool. All right, so Kieslef and Gabi.
Teacher, in my case, Luz y Fuerza has been fixed the light in my area, so that's why I didn't have light. An apology, please.
Ay, o sea que no.
Really, because I am living in a little town in Lerma, and they need to regulate the light here.
Híjole, maestra, es que mi
Really-
perro se comió mi tarea.
It's really,
I was a teacher for 5 years in secundaria. I know all the excuses in the world, believe me.
but
Un niño mató a su abuelita como 10 veces en el año. No, bueno. That's okay,
Well-
Gaby. I understand. You're not going to, listen to me. You and Kieslev are going to present in front of a class next week.
Okay.
So, if you don't want to do it right now, that's fine. But then you're gonna do it with the best judges, which is yes, Kieslev.
It's left.
Kieslev, yours okay?
Yeah, well, I was about to say that, well, we didn't prepare the class together, actually.
But I did my class, my homework.
Yeah, and also I did it by myself.
Okay, so Kieslev, you ready to present?
Yeah, well, if I can.
Yes, of course. Now, paréntesis, I forgot something. Next Saturday, there's no class. Es feriado. So it's going to be in the next Saturday. It's el sábado de gloria, creo que le llaman, ¿no?
Exactly.
This,
Teacher.
Monday.
But I did my homework too.
Pues present it.
Okay.
But let's listen to Kieslev and then we'll listen to you, okay?
Okay, that's good.
Okay, Kieslev, off you go.
Okay, well, the name is second conditional. So we're gonna talk about second conditional. And I have 3 words as vocabulary. Number 1 is yacht. Number 2 is house. Number 3, car. Number 4, fancy. And apartment and private. Well, the concept, we're gonna talk about hypothetical or unlikely situations, whether in present or future. And the concept is if you won 100 million bucks. So the structure, we have 2. Number 1, if plus subject plus past simple plus subject plus would, could, or negative, or might, plus infinitive verb. An example, if I won $1 million, I would buy a new car. Structure number 2, subject plus would, could, or negative, plus infinitive, verb, plus if, plus subject, plus past simple. Example, I would buy a new car if I won $1 million. Well, as rules, we have to use comma after the past tense clause and the first structure, and the second structure, comma is not necessary. Also, we have some exceptions. For example, when we use the verb to be, the past form is always were and no was for the subjects I, he, she, and it. And as an activity, we have a fill the blanks. I send the activity to the WhatsApp. And I think, well, in my opinion, that's semi-mechanical activity. And also in groups, they have to discuss what would they do if they won 100 million bucks. Well, number 1, what would they do? And number 2, why wouldn't they do? So to me, the second is like critical thinking, because most of the time we say, oh, I will do this and that. But what wouldn't you do? So to me, that's like deeper, in my opinion. Well, and also they have to write a top 10 list in both situations. And that's it.
Okay, Kesef, that was your analysis, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but we checked that last week. This week was to present it like if we were in the actual class. With the with images, visual aids, giving the instructions to students.
Okay.
Why don't we do this, Kislev? If you want, because maybe you weren't here last week, the whole class, I don't remember. Why don't we do this, Kislev? During the week, you and I sit in a Zoom conference, and I'll help you out to develop your presentation to do it next Saturday.
Okay, perfect.
All right, cool. So I'll send you a private message. Gabi, off you go. Your audio up, yes.
I have a computer, but I don't know how to use or to insert images in my presentation. I don't know how to do it. Excuse me. My skill is second conditional. We are going to give my students the vocabulary unluckily, unless, could, might, enough, to want, to buy, to remove, could, water, warmer, tired, crowd, and weather. The description of my skill is used for unlikely future events, form with, if, más past simple, más would, wouldn't, más base form. Example, if I had $1 million, I would buy a big house. We can use could, might, and unless. Negative forms couldn't and might not. Obviously wouldn't. We can use unless to mean if not. Example, if they pay me a lot of money, I would move to Madrid. I wouldn't move to Madrid unless they pay me a lot of money. If I have $1 million, I could buy a big house. If I have $1 million, I mean have a big house. Then we need to give them consolidation for give them examples, situations, unreal situations. I want a new dress, but I don't want to have enough money. They need to use could, might, or wouldn't. The children want to eat ice cream, but it's too cold. The teacher is tired, but there are still 5 months of classes left. The elephant wants to drink water, but the oasis is too crowded. They need to use would in this situation. And they need to discuss in pairs on reality situation to use these auxiliaries. And that's enough.
Okay. I believe that's also your description, your analysis, right, Gabi? Or is actually the actual class?
It's really a really class, teacher.
An actual class, okay. What was your concept, Gabi?
Second conditional.
No, that's the topic, the concept.
The concept is use for only future events.
Again, what is your concept? That's a description. I give you an example of Perlita and Annie. The topic was first conditional. Their concept was actions, reactions, or consequences.
Okay, okay.
So, Gabby, what is your concept? Again, if you don't have a concept in the class, you become the Kool-Aid teacher así de que, a ver, chavos, hoy vamos a hablar second conditional. Don't do that. Students will not
Okay.
listen to you. Okay?
I don't have it.
Okay.
I understand that.
Okay. What would you do? What could be a concept? Brainstorm. Everybody, what could be a concept for second conditional?
Mm,
The description is future events, no?
Evet,
On real situations. Ajá.
exactly.
For example, el de Kieslev estaba bien definido, que era if I won $1 million. What if you have $1 million, right? Or fortune teller, or you have won the lottery.
Okay. I understand that, teacher. I understand.
If
Okay.
I won the lottery, I would travel the world. If I blah blah blah. Okay, Gabi? Make it right, please.
I understand that, teacher.
Good. All right. Paola, did you do it?
I try, but let me share with you.
Sure.
This is the first time that I'm going to share with this. With this. I hope. I hope you can see it.
Yes, you can see it.
Okay. Well, I try to do my best, and in this case, I take a note about second conditional. So I'm going to start with asking to my students, do you go on vacations? What kind of places do you go? And some of them mention some places, probably Mexico. So then I introduce a second question about how many tourist places in Mexico do you know it? And I thought that some of them go on vacations in the past and they mention some places. So after that, I show them some images, some different places of Mexico, like Huasteca Potosina, Bacalar in Quintana Roo, Cascadas de Hierve el Agua, Oaxaca, and Islas Maritas in Nayarit. So I am going to explain in that places you can do a lot of activities, and the most important is that we have to remember some verbs, action verbs, like swimming, like jumping, some extreme sports, snorkel, you can visit, you can eat. So after I do a brief review about verbs, I can tell them to introduce, in this case, the grammar structure. If I, and the idea past simple, the consequence or the reaction, good or goodn't, that could be in positive or negative form, and the main verb in present. So I have to remember that in an oral expression that the second conditional is used to refer an hypothetical and unlikely conditional. So is everything in unreal. So my example could be like that. If I were rich, I would travel to those places, to Huasteca Potosina, Bacalar in Quintana Roo, etc., etc. So the next step for me could be that I mention some verbs, just write it, could be in Blackboard, and I wrote travel, visit, eat, swim, and play. So they have to follow some examples that I give as I did before. For example, if I have if I have money, I will travel to Bacalar. If I have parents in Quintana Roo, I will travel to Cascadas. So something like that. I hope I do it well, because I have to be sincere, I have a lot of time to check the schedule and the parts of the grammar. And then I show you, after they give me some examples, I show some writing examples, could be in the blackboard, like this one. If you won lottery, you will travel. If I worked hard, I will save money and go on vacations. But I try to speak the less as possible and make that the students speak more than I. But I don't know if I am okay, and that's gonna be all.
Very good, like it. Now my observations. Well, by the way, everybody, this is a clear example of the concept. If you listen to Paola's presentation, you first were interested in the places to visit, yes or no? She even actually mentioned the names in the pictures. So then, through the class or through the presentation, students can relate to that. That's the concept. Okay, that's a concept, because then the students like, because if I went to the Huasteca, I will eat peyote, no? I don't know.
Yeah.
Or if I went to ¿cómo se llama? La Maristas, or can you put it again? Yeah, the Marietas.
Yes.
If I went to the Marietas, I will swim naked, no? I mean, but students can actually relate to it. See, Perlita and Annie and Gabi? That's the concept. That's a concept that students can actually relate to it and actually can produce language based on a real situation. Okay? Now, my suggestion, Paola, is because when you were here in the last class, you need to use semi-mechanical, mechanical, semi-mechanical, and critical thinking activities. You probably are using it because I know you're an experienced teacher. You just need to identify them and place them in your lesson plan, because otherwise students will forget. So can you go down in your slide for the activities, for the examples? I think it's 3 slices down.
Okay. Wait a little bit. I wrote some,
Yes,
just 2 examples.
So that's the first one is a mechanical. If you won the lottery, you will travel. If I work hard, you will save money to go on vacation. That's mechanical. Then semi-mechanical, it will say something like, if you won the lottery, blank.
Okay.
And then you let students complete the sentence. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 examples. It depends on you. And then critical thinking is, okay, Juanito Perez, which one is your favorite place? Marietas, I don't know, the Huasteca. Pues la Huasteca, miss. Okay, so if, and then you point, no? If I went to and then you start getting personal information from your students.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
But it's important that you have it in your lesson plan. Because you need to use them, okay? Very good, like it. Next, same instruction, Paola. You're gonna do it in front of a class, not next week because it's feriado, but the following week, okay? So you to be ready. All right, maybe you can stop sharing the screen.
Yeah. Wait a little bit.
Thank you, Paola. By the way, Paola just finished the process for Seni. After a long time and a long process, it's finished the process. See, Annie just started yesterday, but Paola ya lo tiene. Well, I mean, Ya está aprobado, pues. Jessica, you here?
Yes, sir. Yes,
I
I'm
won't
here.
ask you for your homework because last class was only a show class, but I just wanted to know if you were here.
Sí.
Thank you for being here, Jessica. All right, it's 11:23. Let's take a moment, a pee break. And when we go back, we'll do error correction. It's a short topic, but it's a very important topic in our English classes, okay? So it's 11:23, so let's see, 11:30, 11:35. So let's make it 15 minutes, okay? All right, see you here. Thank you very much. Ready?
Ready?
Very good. Let me just send this over the email. Hey, que no. Let me open the file. Descargar. Chiquitina, que no. Let's open the file, okay? Chiquitina. Can you see my screen? Not if you see it? Cool, all right. So this is error correction. This is a short topic, but it's actually one of the cores on English teaching, because if we don't do this correctly, our students either will be too afraid to talk English or too careless about talking English, okay? And I'll explain why. First of all, we need to understand that mistakes are good. Yes or no? That even though we're almost perfect and extremely sexy, we are going to make mistakes. It's normal, it's part of life. Actually, there is a lot of pep talks saying that you learn more from failure or from mistakes than from success. You ever heard that? So students are the same. Students need to know that they need to make a mistake in order to learn English. Okay? Now, in English, error is different than a mistake. Can you read this, Jessica, where it says, an error reflects, please?
An error reflects the competence of the learner, whereas a mistake refers to a performance error that is either a random guess or a slip.
Very good. Excellent. So what it means is like the students, an error is something that they don't have the competence or the knowledge of the answer. I'll give you an example. If I ask Perlita, tell me the dates, the exact days on the French Revolution and the important characters of the French Revolution. And unless Carlita is a historian or knows about or lived in Paris or in France, she wouldn't know. You don't know, Carlita, do you? No. So she will, if she answers, she will make a mistake, an error. She will say, no, pues así con toda la confianza del mundo, no, pues 1745, cuando admitió Napoleón y bla, 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 y todo el choro. And that will be incorrect. Should I be mad with Perlita? No, because she doesn't know. And the same thing happens in English classes. And it's sad to say, but teachers tend to assume students know. Whereas students don't know. El típico así, Kool-Aid teacher, a ver, this is present perfect. A ver, Juanito Pérez, tell me a sentence in present perfect. Y Juanito Pérez pariendo chayotes, tragando aceite. Because he doesn't know. That's an error. Error cannot be corrected because it's stupid to ask somebody for an answer that that person doesn't know. Do you agree with me? Okay. The same thing happens in the classroom, so be careful with that. Never assume students know. Okay? Very simple to say. If you ask Paola is an experienced teacher, she's teaching in a SEP program, and Paola is, you ask your students questions, y que te dicen, sí, maestra, quiero que me explique por favor otra vez.
Yes.
¿Verdad?
Yes, they ask me again whatever I explain.
Yeah, but normally it's questions, no.
No, I don't have doubts, but what do you mean? Yeah. It's totally normal.
And then in the exam, everybody fails, right?
Yes.
So it's just never assume students know. Never, let me paraphrase it. Never demand an answer that students don't know. If they don't know the answer, they don't know the answer, period. You're not Harry Potter or Hermione to collect magically the answer. Right? Now, a mistake is something that you have already taught, in that class or the previous class, and they are just practicing. That's a mistake. That is correctable, and that is the right thing to demand for a correction. If you're teaching verb to be, I am, you are, he, she is, blah, 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 blah. And then you ask, a ver, Juanito Pérez, I is teacher. Antes de darle su zape, you need to correct it. But that's okay, because Juanito Pérez learned this, that is I am, but he made a mistake. No, Juanito Pérez, and then you correct it. All right? We have 3 squares here. When should we correct? Because not always we need to correct. How should we correct? And the integration or the feedback after correcting. These are the 3 steps that we're going to analyze in the course. Let me play a video to you. Hold on a second. And we're gonna listen to a teacher talking. Dora. We're gonna listen to a teacher talking about his techniques of correcting. Let me just open it. TKT. Yes. Yes, okay.
Hello, my name is Stephen Story from MadridTeacher.com, and I'm going to talk a little bit about error correction techniques that you can use in a classroom. Hello, my name is Stephen Story from MadridTeacher.com, and I'm going to talk a little bit about error correction techniques that you can use in a classroom with English students. The aim of these error correction techniques is to get the students to self-correct, to notice their errors, or to remind them of their errors, and sometimes to...
Volume is okay? Yes, okay.
Teach them about what they're doing wrong. Okay, they might make 5, 6 errors in the same sentence, so you always have to make a decision. You know, how many errors to correct, or whether to correct all of them. Okay, you might have, for example, in a sentence like, "Oh, Pablo, what'd you do this weekend?" "Dinner with your wife." Well, you have, you know, they might say dinner with your wife. Well, you have a pronunciation, your wife, and you might have a past simple error, Spanglish error, possessive adjective error, lack of a subject error, and you have to work your way through these if you want to correct all of them. Okay, you might just come out and you reformulate. You know, no, you had dinner with your wife, and you can do this for the other students in the class, or you can do it for the student. He'll notice the mistakes if he usually makes these mistakes. You can overreact with whose wife? With my wife. It's a bit of humor for the student. You can decide not to understand. You can say, "Excuse me, what?" Give them a look, you know. Ask them to repeat, you know. If it's an ingrained error, you can say, you know, stretch the sentence out a bit. I think it needs to be longer, okay. If there's a third person error, not in this case, you might say, "Hey, third person S," okay. To overdo it, you know, she go to the disco every Friday. She goes, okay. You might repeat the sentence up to the point that you want them to correct, you know. So, dinner with wife, dinner with dinner with, you know, something like this. You can use your fingers, finger counting. Dinner with wife, you know, what's this? Possessive adjective. You can point out as possessive adjective. Dinner with my wife, okay, or your wife, my wife, whoever's wife. Well, then, you know, you can point out the Spanglish error. The Spanglish error is in Spanish, cené, dinner is a verb, but in English it's not. So, or at least dine, you can dine, but not dinner. So, but what's the verb that goes with dinner? Have dinner, or have dinner. But we're talking about the past, yeah, this gesture, the past. Not the future, not the present. You know, use these little gestures to demonstrate what you want them to understand or whatever. So have dinner with. And the subject, I have dinner with. But the past, I had dinner with. Okay? And you work through these things, okay? You might say something, "I went to the meeting market in my car," and the student says, "Oh, you're a car." Now, why is the student saying this? You know, you're not a car. You might say, "I am not a car, I'm a person," and give them a little humor and try to elicit the correct sentence, the correct structure. Well, I think the reason they're using this is because they're regressing to an easier grammar form, or easier structure, because they're not really comfortable, or they're not able to produce actively. They're not able to produce this present simple structure. So, okay. You are a car. You are a car, but it's a different verb. It's not are. It's you have a car. But what's the question? Do you need a subject? What's the subject? Or excuse me, what's the auxiliary? What's the auxiliary? Do you have a car? Okay, and this is how you can work through it. Okay. If there's a question word, what? Why do you have a car? So you have Aussie, auxiliary, subject, infinitive, auxiliary, do. Subject, you, have, infinitive, or quasi, a question word. Do you have a car? Why do you have a car? Okay? They might say something like, "You are a teacher." Okay? And you get, "No. Are you? Or you say, "Are you," with the finger counting, "Are you a teacher?" And they might say, "No, turn it around. Are you? You are. Or you are teacher." And you get them to practice this infinitive thing. You elicit that, because in Spanish, they don't use these articles. So you get them to practice them, because they'll learn them, and then they'll never use them until you practice them for a while. So you can drill this, you know. Are you pilot? Are you a pilot? Are you architect? Are you an architect? Engineer? Are you an engineer? And so on. They'll always say, like, not as big, not is not big. And what's the subject? It is not big. And you can drill. It's not, or it isn't, and you aren't, and you're not, and so on. Okay? There are a lot of pronunciation errors you can correct with this thing, you know? Germany, not Germany. It's my money. Obstacles, not obstacles, because in Spanish they say obstáculos. Okay? You can act it up a bit. You can say, oh, I'm really sad about my new job. And you can say, oh, you're really sad. You can act it up a bit. They say big, small, tall, short, tired. And they might say something like, my English is short. You can use a song that you've taught them in class, that you've used in class. I don't know much English. Dun, 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 dun. And you listed the song, I don't know much. Or they might say people is, and you say people are. People are people. The large road. No, largo. I said, no. The long and winding road. And don't be embarrassed by your poor singing skills, because I'm not, and they won't be if you learn something from it. They might say, in pronunciation, they might say coffee. I went to the coffee. It's cafe. A-E, cafe. Cafe, not coffee. Okay? And they might say Jew. Jew, no. It's you know. And, oh, it's very nice. Now, very, you have to demonstrate with your mouth, okay? There. No, there. Okay, there. And what do you want to do? No. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You practice this first, then you show them in writing, you know? Some things are major leagues errors. They might say they want some piles, because in Spanish it's pilas. They want some batteries, so they go to the shitty to buy some piles. That could be a real problem. Okay. Well, thank you for watching, and see you the next time.
Very good. So, how do you think? Did you listen to at least one or two strategies that he mentioned? What about the finger thing? A ver, Gaby.
Exactly, teacher. I saw that he used his fingers to learn the students. It's a good technique to do it.
It's a good technique, yes. What about the humor? He mentioned about something about humor. And why is this important? A ver, Kislev.
Yeah, he said something about if somebody says you are a car, it's like, for real? Am I a car? You have a car. So laugh a bit is not that bad. Also can help to the students.
Very good. Why do you think laughing is not so bad?
Just help them to be relaxed, not that stressful or nothing.
Very good.
So
very good. And what Kislev mentioned is very important. You need to foster a relaxed atmosphere. Because if you are too tight, the students will not be able, they don't want to talk because they don't want to make mistakes. So that's the key. Very good. What about the songs? What about singing? he said about that you can use singing to correct. That is part of being relaxed, correct? All right, very good. Let's go back to the presentation. So, error correction techniques. We are going to discuss briefly the techniques to correct our students, okay? Very important, teachers. This is a chronological order. You need to start with this one, and if it doesn't work, move to the next one. And if that doesn't work, move to the next one. Okay, but you start with this one and don't start with the second or with the last one. Okay? This is technique number 1 and the first one. And this is the technique about the question, what? Can you read it, Paola? The first point.
Yeah. The student will immediately know there's something wrong with the statement he or she produced and will be open for help.
Very good. I is a teacher. And they're like, what? So the student will like, oh my God. No? At this point, you need to wait for the student to correct himself or herself. What? And then he will know that something is wrong and will try to correct. But what if Juanito Perez is like, what? And Juanito Perez is like, what, teacher, ¿qué? Then you move to the second technique. Pinpoint error correction. Can you read this, Jessica?
If your student doesn't realize where their mistake is, try to guide him, her, by repeating the statement yourself and stopping right before the missing wrong word.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Example, I went shopping now. And then you say, what? And Juanito Perez, what? Teacher, I went shopping, what? When? Or the same example, I is a teacher, what? What? I who? Teacher? So you tell them where the mistake is. But then it's like Juanito Perez lost in the space. He's like in blank. So you move to the number 3 technique. And then use the fingers. And yes, my personal favorite, show him the finger. Not just kidding. Don't do that. Use the finger. Can you read this, Perlita?
Use fingers. In the event that your student is still confusing, forgetting a certain word, order, or tense, use your fingers to show them the right syntax or missing extra word they need in their statement.
So like the video, no? You assign concepts to your fingers. Do you, I am a teacher. Isaac. I am a teacher. So then you move. I am a, and then you select the finger that he's missing, and then the student will actually know. For example, we're at the beginning of the class, we were talking about if, right? And in my classes, this is if. It is if or I. So when I ask the students, a ver, okay, I. Okay? But Juanito Perez is still lost in the space. He's like, the fingers, what, teacher, ¿qué, cómo, qué, miss? Then you move to the next one. Perdón. Provide multiple choice. A ver, paréntesis. Before that, between fingers and between multiple choice, there was another one that is called peer correction. Peer as a compadre. Peer, P-E-E-R, peer correction. But a couple of years ago, we were forced to delete it from the program because it was considered, or may be considered, it may be considered bullying. You know, por la generación de cristal y todo ese rollo, la generación de mazapán. But you know, peer correction, you can Google it, eh? Peer correction in English classes, and then you can read about it. It's basically Juanito Perez is lost in the space, use the what, he didn't know, use the, excuse me, use the pinpoint correction, he didn't know, fingers, he still doesn't know. A ver, Jessica, tell me the correct answer. O a ver, Paola, can you help Juanito Perez? Or that's peer correction. I'm telling you because it's off the record. You may know your students, you may know how they conduct, you may know, you know, according to your group. But according officially, it might consider bullying, no? Ya sabes. And kids can be mean. Si yo, mi, yo te digo, pick me, pick me. Él no sabe, mi, yo te digo. Ay, Juanito Pérez, ya cállate, yo te digo. So be careful in that, okay? But you can Google it and read it. It's quite interesting. Peer correction in English classes. So fingers, he didn't know. You go into multiple choice solution. Can you read this, Gabi?
Thank you, Chair. Provide multiple choice. This is an option for semi-modeling the right answer. Once you've tried the previous techniques and your student doesn't seem to self-correct, provide an easy logical multiple choice question to keep your student's memory. Example, students, I am engineer, teacher, A or an.
Very good. So you will actually give them almost the answer. The example, teacher, I am an engineer. So you start with the question, what? Juanito Pérez, what? A ver, I am who a teacher? I don't know. Okay, fingers, I am I don't know. So then you go, a ver, Juanito Pérez, a or an, and the sape, no? But what if Juanito Pérez is still lost in the space? Ya sería mucho. But some students are, really. Then you go to the last resource. And this is the last technique, and it's not pedagogically speaking correct. And this is called modeling. All right? Can you read this for the first point? Kieslev, you're here? Sí, ¿verdad?
Yes, I'm here. After you've gone through all of the correction techniques explained before, and your student still fails to understand his or her mistake, provide a straightforward correction and have him integrate his words to the statement.
Very good. So, in other words, you give them the answer. And this, the second point, it says, this should be your last resource. Not resort, it's resource. Example, she worked at home. Y empiezas con el what? What? No? A ver. She, where? Or who? No. Okay. Finger? Well, I am, you? No. Okay. She work or works? So then, a ver, Juanito, she works at home. Sape and repeat. Oh, no, sape, right? But this is your last resource, teachers, because this is not teaching. This is only I don't know what to call it, but it's just give them the answer. But it's not teaching. Sad to say, teachers, and pay attention to me, this is the teacher's favorite. And for some reason, in humankind, teachers start with this technique. In other words, teachers just give them the answer. Why do you think this is teacher's favorite? Because it's the easiest. You don't deal with the students. You just give them the answer. No, Juanito Perez, así no es. She works. But that's not teaching teachers. It's anti-pedagogical, actually. They need to register, so they need to correct themselves. So avoid that. I know it's difficult. I know, Paola, you work in a SEP, right? SEP school. How many students do you have?
At least 50.
So that's difficult.
Yeah.
That is difficult. In my school, you have 12, 15, but in SEP schools, they have 50 plus.
Yes.
So following these techniques is difficult. I understand. I totally understand. But as much as you can, follow the techniques. Because otherwise, it's just giving them the answer and that's not teaching. Okay? Sorry, Paola. Really sorry. Anyway, it's a job.
Don't worry.
It's a job. Yes, I have friends in SEP program and me decían eso. Ay, sí, teacher, pero esto es lo ideal. Pues sí, I understand. Especially when we're studying classroom arrangement. Ya sabes que el horseshoe y que el nombre. No existe nada de eso, pero bueno, that's a different story. That's a whole different story. Okay. Yes, so far so good. Just be careful. As much as you can, don't give them the answer. Let them find the answers for themselves. Okay? Good. Thank you. Conclusions. Perlita, can you read this first point?
Some teachers correct every mistake made by their students. Other teachers rarely or never correct their students' mistake. Would approach have,
Continue.
okay. Would approach have serious weakness. The first one leads to students' nervousness and, as a consequence, lack of fluency. The second one leads to students to speak with whose English is hard to understand.
Very good. So both extremes are incorrect. If you are too demanding, you are going to suffocate them and they will be too afraid to produce language. Or if you are very barco and you don't care, the students will be confident, but they will speak like Abu from The Simpsons. Have you watched The Simpsons in English? Abu, the character from the Quick Mark, he speaks very bad English. Well, there's going to be your students if you don't find the balance in correcting your students. Check these tips, Jessica. Number one.
When a student makes a mistake, it's usually counterproductive to say no. That's wrong. That's wrong. Sorry. Are you serious? How long did you say? How long did you say you've been studying English, etc.? It's often kinder to say not bad, nearly, good try. That's an interesting mistake, etc.
Very good. So, be careful on being sarcastic. Even though we like it, well, I love it, I'm very sarcastic. Así de, ay, Paola, ¿de verdad? ¿Dónde aprendiste inglés? Neta, ya así fue la... No, don't do that. And we want to do that. We want to do it like, ay, Juanito Pérez, de verdad. Ya vas en nivel 5. Sheesh. No. Don't do that. That. It really hurts self-esteem. Especially teenagers. You know, it's bad. So be positive. Right? A ver, Juanito Pérez. Good try. Try again. I applaud your effort. Así nos dice el maestro. I applaud your effort. Yeah, Charles. No? So, but do that. Be positive, no? Next one, Paola.
Some say that you shouldn't laugh at students' mistakes, but it sometimes breaks the mistakes taboo and makes linguistic risk and disasters an acceptable part of the classroom culture.
Very good. Laugh. I mean, there's nothing wrong. And how can you do that? Set the example. You will make a mistake and so part of your class. If you make a mistake, laugh about it. If you make a mistake and you get angry or you get embarrassed, what do you think students will do? They will kill you. They will eat you alive. Y mis, no supo. Y mis, neta, no sabe. On the contrary, if you just laugh about it, ¿a poco sí dije eso? Sí, miss. I was just testing you. And you laugh, then you foster a relaxed atmosphere. And then you promote that everybody laughs at their mistakes. And it's very important. Number 3 point, Gabby.
Thanks, teacher. The ability to correct themselves when they make a mistake is an important one for students to develop. Encourage it, give them time to correct themselves.
Don't be desperate. I understand situations like Paola's. I understand that, you know, it shouldn't be like that. It's anti-pedagogical having 50 students. It's bad, but it's the system, right? You can't change it. But as much as you can, give them time. Give them time to process, because otherwise students will not learn. Okay, so be careful with that. As much as you can. I understand situations. Next one, Jessica.
Once they've done the correction, have a student repeat the statement again in order to integrate the correction to their learning process. This last step is very important.
So you ask Juanito Perez, okay, I am an engineer. What? I am an engineer. Very good. Repeat. Have them repeat so they can actually register in their mind the correct sentence. Very good. Next one, Carlita.
It's much better for the students if they get into the habit of listening to themselves when they are speaking and correct themselves as they go along. Obviously, they won't be able to correct all the mistakes they make, but they will be able to correct a lot of them.
This is important, okay? Again, as much as you can, it depends on the institution, it depends on your group, but if you can, once a week, maybe once or twice a month, have listening activities where they record themselves. Okay, so read the conversation and record. It's very easy now. Everybody has a cell phone. So, una nota de voz, ¿no? De voz, ¿no? Voice notes, o como le llaman. So they record themselves or and WhatsApp audio. I mean, it's very easy now. And have them record like 30 seconds, maybe 1 minute, and then you tell them, listen to yourself and listen for mistakes. All right? The last one, Gaby, please.
Thanks, teacher. As far as possible, correct mistakes and I don't know how to express it.
Anonymously.
Thanks. Do this by making notes of students' mistakes as you monitor, then putting them on the board later. Depends on the type of drill.
Very good. It's important if you can have it anonymously, the correction. If you can, if not, personalized is fine. But for example, if you have in a conversation task or a communicative activity, you monitor and then you write the names, I know the names, the corrections, and then have them, everybody listen to the correction. That might be a good strategy. Very good. So far, so good? Okay, cool. So this is important for you to put into practice. I know Perlita is teaching, Gaby is teaching, Paola is teaching, Carla is teaching. So for homework, I want you to, to apply this error correction technique or techniques in your classes. Okay, and then in 2 weeks, you let me know how the result or what the result was. And how do you feel? How do your students feel, etc. What's homework, Palita?
I can hear well, you're sorry, because my internet is slow.
Sí, choros. That's okay. A ver, Gaby, what is the homework?
We need to apply correction techniques.
In your actual classes. Exactly. So, and then you tell us in 2 weeks when the next class, the result. All right, cool. Let's call it a day. Let's take the selfie, the selfie for today. Kislev, Carla, Isaac, if you can turn your cameras on 3, 2, 1. Come on. Fast. Total, si no se han bañado, no nos vamos a leer ni nada. Total, pues, no pasa nada. There you go. Kislev. Stop watching porn. Pay attention to the class. Kislev. No, she's really gone. Okay, let's take the selfie. On 1, 2. All right, I'll send it to you in a moment. Okay, so thank you very much. Great class. If you have any questions, please let me know. And party a lot, drink a lot, have sex, everything included. Not you, Jessica, you're too young. Isaac, too young. Palita, no. The rest go nasty. Okay, so see you around, guys. Bye.
Bueno, ¿sí me escuchó? Teacher, ¿puedes esperar?
Yes, pero no te digo casi.
Que si me podría esperar usted.
¿Y eso conmigo?
Sí.
Yes.
Bye.
Yes. A ver, perdón, ¿qué es que le pasó a mi computadora? Ok, ¿quién quiere hablar conmigo? Isaac, ¿verdad? Yes, ok. No, se te fue el audio, hijo.
Ok. ¿Sí me escuchó?
Sí.
Decía que se me fue el internet. Digo, no, se me murió el teléfono.
Ok.
Sí, por eso ya no me he conectado, aparte de que pues Ay, espérame, Daniel.
Pero vas a seguir entrando. Isaac. Ah, ok. Gaby, ¿me dejas hablar con Isaac en private? Thank you, Gaby.
Bye.
Bye, bye.
Sí, y decía que no he podido tampoco darle el dinero. O sea, espero ya esta semana ahora sí poderle pagar la clase. Okay,
No, está bien, brother, no te preocupes, yo entiendo.
gracias. Y
No, yo. Ajá.
quisiera tomar el del TOEFL también. Quisiera ahora tomar el del TOEFL.
Ok,
Sí, ahí no decían que si llevas más de un año, ese te lo dan.
sí.
Sí, entonces me gustaría tomar el TOEFL.
¿Te llevas un año?
Ya llevo un año casi medio ya.
Ah, perfecto. Ya, perfecto.
Sí, nada más consiguiendo un teléfono para que me dé la información.
Es lo que te iba a decir. Necesito que me mandes WhatsApp para organizarme con Alex para que te programe tu examen. Sí, sin broncas.
Sí, sí, bueno, muchas gracias. Igual cualquier cosa, ahí le envío un correo.
Ándale. Sí tienes mi correo, ¿no?
Sí, el correo, sí. Sí tengo registrado que le mandé una vez un correo, entonces yo creo que
Ok,
ahí.
perfecto. Mándame y a mí me llegan automáticamente, entonces si me lo mandas, te lo contesto de volada, no hay problema.
Ok, muchas gracias.
Pero próxima semana no hay clases, sería hasta dentro de 2 semanas.
Ok.
Sale. Gracias, hijo,
Bye.
cuídate.